We are an elite unit. Our primary target, Frank Costello.
You won't be paid as a regular cop.
So what do I do?
You will not ever know the identity of undercover people.
Get your hands off me!
We got a cop in my crew.
He's gonna find out who I am and kill me. Do you want him to chop me up and feed me the poor?
I can get the rat.
If you don't, it won't be me who pays.
The Departed, a Martin Scorsese picture. Rated R, starts October 6th.
On this week's episode of the Couch Brotato Podcast, Lucas and I sit down to discuss Martin Scorsese's 2006 masterpiece, The Departed. Welcome back to the Couch Brotato Podcast. I'm Russ, and with me always is Lucas. Lucas, what's going on, my friend?
Not much. I'm excited to do another episode with you, my friend.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited too. We haven't done one of these before. This week's episode is The Departed.
The Dearly Departed.
That's right. We haven't done a mob movie yet, so I figured it was about time to do one.
Yeah.
Pretty much. That's the reason behind this.
Not a bad idea. Mob movies are really good.
Yeah.
Scorsese is one of the best directing mob movies. So
that's true, and that actually brings me to one of my first talking points. Would you put The Departed on the Mount Rushmore of mob movies? And what would be your Mount Rushmore?
Yeah, I'd put it up there. Say The Godfather, Goodfellas, this. Try to think of a fourth one. I don't know. Maybe you can bail me out here because I'm drawing a blank.
Well, it can't be your Mount Rushmore if I'm helping you out.
Sure it can. Mount Rushmore was built by several people.
Well, I tell you what, I'll step back. For me, my go-to mob movies would be The Godfather 1, The Godfather Part 2, which in many ways is superior to the original, Goodfellas. That's my favorite mob movie. I'm sorry, Godfather fans, throw stones at me later, but I like Goodfellas better. And my fourth, it could be just the mood I'm in. It could be the fact I watched some of it recently, but I really like Casino.
Yeah, that's a good one.
So that would be on there right now, although I'm sure that would be subject to change at some point, depending on my mood. But yeah, that would be my four at the moment. So that being said, you've got Carlito's Way, you've got Donnie Brasco, you've got Scarface.
Which I know a lot of people like and own Scarface. I don't think that movie's that good.
I think it's a little overrated myself. I'm not a fan. I like it, but I don't love it.
Yeah. Like it's okay, but yeah, I just don't think it's that good.
So what would be your fourth one? Still haven't answered. You're avoiding the question. I feel like I'm trying to find out who the informant is in Costello's crew. With you trying to get this answer.
I'm not going to fucking tell you.
All right, Troopa. All right, I'm sure that's not the first or the last time we do a really shitty Boston accent tonight.
Cocksucker.
Fenway Park.
With the socks.
The socks. All right, so what's your fourth? People are waiting.
Godfather 2.
Okay, good list. Also, fun fact, this movie won Martin Scorsese his first Best Director Oscar. So, I don't know how many of his movies have you seen. I've seen all of his. He's like my favorite director, so would you consider this his best movie, considering this is his only Best Picture nominee?
It's got to be, right? Since it's his only Best Picture nominee?
Or Best Director winner.
Director, yeah.
Sorry.
Well,
I've had a long day.
Winner.
First time he's won Best
We
Director.
both have.
But yeah, do you think this is his best movie?
Well, you told me about Taxi Driver.
Yeah.
Which I've never seen. I actually think Goodfellas is better than this movie.
Oh yeah, so do I.
I think if he were to win one for any of them, it'd probably be that one, in my opinion. Wolf of Wall Street, excellent movie.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going through his his list of movies. Although, I really thought The Departed was good enough to win.
That year, 2006, was kind of a weak slate for movies for Best Picture nominees. I think it was The Departed, Little Miss Sunshine, Babel, and I'm drawing a blank on the other two. That shows you how great that year was. But, I mean, the only other one I would think that would be even remotely in that ballpark would be Little Miss Sunshine. That's a really good movie, too.
Yeah, I really like that movie. That movie cracks me up.
But it ain't as good as The Departed.
Departed?
Yeah, I think that's probably the main reason why he won Best Director and this one Best Picture is the fact that the slate wasn't that good. Oh, yeah, Letters from Iwo Jima is another one, too.
That's an excellent movie.
That's still not as good as this one, though.
I don't know. It's been a while since I've seen it. I mean, I really like The Departed, but I really liked Letters from Iwo Jima. I just haven't seen either one. Well, I watched The Departed recently, but I hadn't seen Letters from Iwo Jima in a while.
Well, I mean, for me, I think what defines a great movie for me is if I can watch it again. I mean, there's good movies.
That movie is depressing.
Like, as going back to Clint Eastwood, he directed $1 Million Baby. I think $1 Million Baby is a very good movie. But I don't find it a great movie because I can only watch it one time.
Now, is that just because you know what's going to happen, or
it's fucking depressing?
Yeah.
See,
it is very depressing.
Like Schindler's List is another one. Schindler's List is, well, I guess that could be stretched a little bit. Schindler's List is an amazing film, but I can't watch that. That's not one of like, hey, let's watch Schindler's List, everybody.
I'm in a great mood. Let's watch that.
Yeah. Well, if you really want to feel better about your life, pop in Requiem for a Dream.
We're saving all the depressed people out there. This is a couple weeks in a row now that we're recommending movies. Like, you feel shitty about yourself? Here you go.
Yeah, we've recommended Taxi Driver, Requiem for a Dream, Schindler's List. No wonder no one listens to our show.
We're depressing the shit out of people.
All right, well, we'll get since we've decided that this is on Lucas's Mount Rushmore of mob movies, and for me, I don't think this is his best movie either. Casino, Goodfellas, Raging Bull, like I would say this is probably like 6th or 7th for me.
It's pretty far down the list.
Well, I mean, like he's, I would rank them. Goodfellas is his best movie, but Goodfellas is also one of my favorite movies of all time. Goodfellas, Taxi Driver, I think is better than this one. Raging Bull's better than this one. Let's see, Casino I would probably rank ahead of this one too. Casino's really good. And I actually really like The Wolf of Wall Street too. That movie is fucking
movie.
Crazy, but it's also...
What makes it crazier is it's partially true.
That's right.
Or mostly true.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I would say it's probably not his best movie, but, I mean, it deserves to win Best Picture. That was obvious. I think it was definitely the best picture in 96, or 2006. Once again, sorry, guys. Long night. I've already flubbed this twice, so we'll probably get less listens on this than we did last week's episode.
You know what? Positive outlook. We're gonna hit it big, and everybody's gonna listen to us.
Yeah. Yeah, these will be the early episodes. We're like, man, they get it together eventually, but it takes them a while. All right, we'll go ahead and start the categories here. The Tale of the Tape. This movie was released on October the 6th, 2006. Stars Leonardo DiCaprio, Matt Damon, Jack Nicholson, Mark Wahlberg, Alec Baldwin, and Martin Sheen. Wow.
Man, what a cast.
Yeah, they don't make them like this anymore. It's almost like they just got like, hey, let's just get the 4 biggest actors we possibly can to be the 4 main leads in this.
Well, I think when Martin Scorsese calls you, you answer.
Yeah. I'm curious to see how much of the $90 million budget was just devoted to those salaries.
That may come up in the facts.
It could. This was directed by Martin Sheen.
Russ, have you been drinking?
No, I haven't actually. That's the weird thing about it. Martin Scorsese. I was looking at Martin Sheen, and my notes is Martin Sheen, and then Martin Scorsese's right under him. This was directed by Martin Scorsese. Rotten Tomatoes score 90% from critics and 94% from audiences. The box office was $291 million on a $90 million budget. This movie won 4 Academy Awards, including the Best Picture of 2006 and Martin Scorsese's first Best Director Oscar. And you can stream this on HBO Max right now, which is how I watched it over 2 nights. Which
Very nice.
is how I usually watch movies now. It's over 2 or 3 nights. The William Somerset Research Corner. When I was doing the research on this, pretty much all my notes are just like casting notes, so I'll let you fill in the other stuff.
Okay.
But I couldn't believe the fucking people that were considered for roles in this movie. Just blew my mind. And I actually, once I get done rattling them off, I kind of want to. Well, no, we'll save that for later on, but we'll dig into this. Al Pacino was the first choice to play Frank Costello. He turned down the role, so Scorsese went with his second choice, Jack Nicholson.
Yeah, I don't know, just because I recently watched this, like, Jack Nicholson hams it up really hard in this, but I think I think he's convincing enough.
All right, well, we'll table that. We'll save it for a bit. That might be coming up down the road as a question. Brad Pitt was supposed to play Colin Sullivan, but he dropped out, feeling he was too old to play Sullivan, so he passed, and they cast Matt Damon instead. He went on to play in the film Babel, which was nominated for Best Picture this year. He also stayed on, though, as a producer on The Departed, so he also won an Academy Award for this.
Nice.
Ray Liotta was the original choice to play Dignam, but he couldn't take on the role due to other commitments, so they decided to go with Dennis Leary. But Dennis Leary was doing the show Rescue Me, so he couldn't do it either. So then they went to Mark Wahlberg, who I didn't know filmed all of his scenes in 4 days.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, which I guess they shot all his stuff near the beginning of filming, because I guess he was getting ready to do something else. The role of Ellerby, which was played by Alec Baldwin, was originally offered to Mel Gibson, but he couldn't do it because he was directing Apocalypto at the time.
Which, by the way, Apocalypto, I can't find that anywhere to watch it. I like that movie, but that movie's fucked up.
I think you could start. I know it was out of print for a little while. I think it started showing up on the streaming services again.
Okay, yeah, that movie's fucked up. But also, I could see Mel Gibson being in this movie, considering all of the horrible things that are said. Mel Gibson's pretty good at saying horrible things about people.
Oh yeah, he would have fit right in.
Yeah.
He could have actually been Costello.
Mm-hmm.
And it wouldn't even be a stretch. Robert De Niro was offered the role of Captain Queenan, but he turned it down because he was directing The Good Shepherd, which also stars Matt Damon.
I don't know if I know that movie.
Good Shepherd has De Niro and Matt Damon. It's about the early days of the CIA, I think, or the FBI. I've seen parts of it. I haven't seen it all the way through either. I'm sure it's a good film, but just one of those ones I never got around to watching.
Yeah.
I'm sure somebody's going to like, what the fuck's wrong with you? You should watch that. It's a great movie. Cool, I'll take your word for it.
I know a certain friend of ours that will give you shit.
Oh, yeah. The RZA was supposed to play the role Anthony Anderson ends up playing in the movie, but he turned it down also to scheduling conflicts.
Man. Apparently, they should have just delayed this movie. Like, you can make, just the backup lineup was good enough to win this movie an Oscar.
Yeah, we'll table it. It could be coming back down the road. We'll save it for later on. I guarantee there's a question coming up that goes into that. So what do you have for research for this movie, my good sir?
So whenever anybody is killed on screen or talks about murder, Scorsese had a hidden X positioned somewhere in the frame as an homage to the 1932 version of Scarface.
Really? You know what else would have worked?
What's that?
If you would have seen DMX.
What?
X gonna give it to you. Go ahead.
It is extremely similar to the 2002 Hong Kong action movie Infernal Affairs.
Infernal Affairs, and yeah, it's a remake of it.
Infernal, sorry, yeah. I have it written right.
Have you been drinking?
Just the water.
Okay.
You know, newborn baby, no sleep, all that fun stuff. So, you asked about the $90 million budget. About 50% of the budget went to the actor's salary.
No shit.
50%. The movie takes place in Boston, as you know, because we've been doing shitty Boston accents.
Yeah, Boston. The Boston Harbor.
But was shot mainly in New York. Certain exterior shots were filmed in Boston, but most of the indoor scenes were in New York City.
God, can you imagine like anybody on that set's a Red Sox fan and Boston is basically like they're using New York to be Boston?
Mm-hmm. Fucking Yankees.
Yankee cocksuckers.
Cocksuckers. Gimme Shelter by the Rolling Stones. Before The Departed, Scorsese had it in Goodfellas and Casino.
Yeah,
he
loves
gangster movie song.
I know he's a huge fan of the Rolling Stones. Apparently, like that's got to be his favorite song of all time.
I would think so, since he puts it in all his movies, pretty much. Mm-hmm. That is all I got, sir.
All right. Yeah, I actually did not know that that much of the budget went to the salaries of the actors. But I seen $90 million, like somebody's getting paid.
Yeah, especially because there's not like, I can't really think of any CGI effects in this. Maybe the blood splatter from like headshots.
Well, as we found out in Independence Day, that CGI costs a lot of money per shot.
Mm-hmm.
And that was in 1996. This is 10 years later. So,
well, nowadays movie studios screw over the special effects studios. They fucking run them into the ground and then pay them like a quarter of what they should. That's real shit.
That is, yeah. Well, hey, you know what? Let's not go too depressing. We did it last week with Iron Man. We talked about basically movie theaters are dying a slow death, and then we started early about like depressing movies. Let's just keep this upbeat.
Hey, I'm in a great mood.
All right. I'm slap happy because apparently I'm tired and I can't read.
Hey, I said internal instead of infernal.
All right. That makes me feel a little bit better. The I Drink Your Milkshake Award for the best scene of the movie.
I drink your milkshake. I drink it up.
I've got 5 here. I have the interview scene where Queenan and Dignam are interviewing Costigan to be the undercover. You kind of get
That was the first one I had written down.
Yeah, you kind of get a rundown of basically where Costigan comes from.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's family's a bunch of lowlifes. And I also like that where they basically say he's too smart to be a cop.
Yeah.
But
Dignam is just like fucking just destroying him.
Yeah. That scene, Mark Wahlberg's son, 1,000 miles an hour. He is like, it's like, hey, you've got me for 4 days. You're getting your fucking money's worth.
Fucking money's worth.
Also, it's like, basically when they're talking about how smart he is too, and like they're talking about like how shitty his family is, it's like they're almost like, we know you're too smart to be a cop, but we also know that you could pull this off better than anybody we got.
Yeah, you could very easily be a street thug.
Mm-hmm. So I got that one. I've got I'm not a fucking cop scene in the bar.
Mm-hmm.
I just like it because it's the first time you get to see Jack and Leo in a scene together. Jack Nicholson's an iconic actor, and DiCaprio's more than well on his way.
I was gonna say at this point he probably is. I mean, he's...
Well, I wouldn't put DiCaprio quite in Jack Nicholson's league just yet.
No, but I still think he's iconic.
He's getting there. I don't know. And plus, watching Mr. French just beat the shit out of his broken hand with his boot, that makes my fucking hands hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And I also thought that they were going to kill DiCaprio in the bar too. Like I usually don't think like the main star is going to get killed in a movie, but there's a couple instances in this I'm like, fuck, they might actually kill him.
Yeah, I thought so too.
My third scene is the Costigan and Queenan meeting on the roof. I remember when I seen that in the movie theater, like the theater just like kind of gasped when you just see Martin Sheen fall to his death.
Mm-hmm.
It seemed to take forever too. I mean, I know it was in slow motion, but it seemed like he was floating for a good like 30 seconds.
Kind of like the death in Zombieland.
Yeah. I have the Leo and Damon meeting on the roof. Now, I thought Queenan dying was shocking. That blew my fucking mind when, and let's be real, this is a spoiler, but this movie is over 10 years old. When Leo gets killed in the elevator,
Dude.
I was like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, I have that written down, and I have it in the notes as makes me jump every single time. Like, I know the shit's coming, but every single time when that fucking door, because, you know, I got this loud-ass surround sound system, and they made sure to turn that up to fucking 10 every time he gets shot in the head.
I remember when I went and seen this opening weekend, and you know how when you go to a movie theater, you can usually hear, like, people jostling, like, their popcorn, or you can hear people, like, grabbing drinks.
Mm-hmm.
From the point that he gets killed till the end, like, I don't hear a peep out of anybody in that movie theater. And it was a packed house. Like, it was one of those, like, crowds that's, like, maybe 80, 85% filled. And, like, not a peep the rest of the movie. And then the last scene I have is in Sullivan's apartment at the end when Diggum kills Sullivan.
That was shocking, too.
Yeah, that was. I don't know. I still like that scene just because, like, Mark Wahlberg looks like he's there to, like, when you get your cable installed, they always wear those
booties on.
Yeah, and he's wearing the fucking unemployed businessman's suit, the track suit.
Yeah.
And at first I thought he was just there to scare the shit out of him, but then when you just see that trigger get pulled and, like, his blood splatters across the wall, I'm like, yep.
Yeah, I mean, it's cold-blooded. He just stands there and stares at him, doesn't say anything.
It was nice, though. He kind of got vengeance for Queenan and Costigan, though.
Yeah.
I thought the rat on the windowsill at the end, though, was a bit much. You know how, like, they showed the end, the rat?
Yeah, okay.
Thought that was a bit much. I guess I was reading before we came on, there was a Kickstarter campaign where there was a guy trying to raise money to get that digitally removed from the movie.
Really?
And he raised enough money, but I guess Warner Brothers decided to shut it down. So, like, that's not happening. So,
yeah, it is a little bit much.
Yeah, it's like, okay, we know he's a rat. We don't need the imagery to go along with it. What do you got?
So, like I said, I have the scene where Costigan's getting grilled by, how do you say his name? Dignam?
I've always called it
Dignam. Dignam?
I've always said Dignam.
Dignam.
But you know what, though? I'm going to look it up while you're talking, so we sound like we're at least educated and we know what we're talking about. Go ahead.
Fair enough. When they were meeting with the Chinese dealers to sell those microprocessors, I thought that scene was pretty cool. Like, you know, and when the police force is getting pissed off at the camera guy and how Baldwin beats the shit out of it.
Yeah, that scene is like Jack Nicholson's character's kind of tuning up the racism a little bit.
Oh,
but
man, yeah.
When Alec Baldwin knocks the shit out of that cameraman, that cracks me up. I still love that scene. And it's Dignam. It's Dignam.
Dignam, okay. And you know, Dignam, he says that line to him, which I don't know if I have that as I don't have that as one of my lines.
Let's save
one
it.
of my best lines.
Save it. It might be one of mine.
Okay, cool. When Costigan finds out Costello is a FBI informant, and he's following him through that alley. And then, oh no, I'm sorry. Costello is Jack Nicholson. So that I got him and Sullivan mixed up there. But when
we're
he
really
finds
shitting the bed tonight. Mispronouncing stuff, calling people the wrong name, Martin Sheen directed this, not Martin Scorsese.
We are perfect. And he shoots that guy in the leg to get him to say it again. Which I don't know if is that one of your lines there too.
Nah.
He's like, I thought I was supposed to go in shock. This still fucking hurts.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
And then Costigan following Sullivan to arrest him in that alley, and he stabs that guy in the alley who's carrying his food, which I may or may not have that as one of my unsolved mysteries. A question in there about that. Costigan arresting Sullivan and getting killed. And like I said, it makes me jump every single time he gets shot in that elevator. And then Dignam killing Sullivan at the end.
Yeah, so we're pretty on point there. I don't know. For me, I'm going to give it to. I don't know, it's tough between the like when they're interviewing Leo, when Wahlberg and Sheen are interviewing him. I really, really like that scene. And it's usually like that scene's the one like, okay, I'm going to be invested in this for a little bit.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be between that and then when Leo gets shot, just because of how shocking it is.
And it's crazy because I don't know how many times you've seen this movie, but I've seen it at least 3-4 times, and it's still it's still one of those holy shit moments. Like, it's so unexpected. The main star never gets killed like that, you know?
Yeah, I mean, like when a star dies, it's usually they've kind of set it up through the movie like they've got some kind of life-threatening illness, or like you take like a certain movie that one of the characters we just done recently, he ends up dying, but you kind of they had speculated that was going to happen in a series of successful films. But yeah, like when he just gets like plugged right there in the elevator, it's like, oh shit, they killed him off. I think that I'm going to give it to the interrogation scene just because of how fucking much Wahlberg's bringing it.
Yeah,
this is one of my favorite Wahlberg performances, and like, yeah, he's just dialed up to 11. I fucking love it.
It's almost like Scorsese looked at him and was like, "All right, I just want you to be the angriest you've ever fucking been, and just look at Leo and just take it out on him."
I guess apparently he based that character on a bunch of different people that arrested him when he was a kid in Boston, because I guess he had trouble as a youngster with the law.
Oh yeah, that's how he became a famous rapper.
Oh yeah. But yeah, I guess he based that character on like a combination of different people.
Makes sense.
Oh, so we giving it to the interrogation scene.
We are in agreement.
All right, harumph. The King Kong Ain't Got Shit on Me award for the best line of the movie.
King Kong ain't got shit on me!
I had trouble picking out a lot of these, but the first one I have is I don't want to be a product of my environment. I want my environment to become a product of me, from Costello. I tried to do like Jack Nicholson's Boston accent in that, but it's not really a Boston accent. I don't know what he's going for.
Yeah, I don't know what he's doing in this movie, but he does have one of my favorite lines that I still use.
Yeah,
as you know.
Yeah, that's coming. When they ask him if they've got somebody in Costello's crew, Wahlberg answers, maybe. Maybe not. Maybe go fuck yourself. I'm the guy who does his job. You must be the other guy. Also from Wahlberg.
That's the scene I was talking about with the cameraman.
Yeah. I also love that same scene when they're getting ready to go bust Costello. And Alec Baldwin goes up and goes, I'm going to have a smoke right now. You want to smoke? You don't smoke, right? What are you, one of those fitness freaks, huh? Go fuck yourself. And he just walks away. And then the last one I got, we're all on our way out, act accordingly. That seems
I have that one as one of mine, too.
All right, what do you got?
I'm going to save my line for last.
Okay.
I haven't been practicing like I used to. The one where Sullivan looks at that guy and he goes, "You got a nice suit at home, or you like coming to work every day dressed like you're going to invade Poland?" Like, fuck.
I don't even know what that means.
I'm assuming it means that he's dressed like a Nazi.
Oh yeah, when oh shit, James. The actor's name's James Badge Dale. When he's recruiting him to be part of his team, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Frank Costello. What we generally do in this country is one guy brings items and the other guy pays him. No ticky, no laundry. Like, oh shit.
I don't understand why he was trying to do sign language when he's speaking to them too. It's like,
Yeah. You know, Jack Nicholson going ham. When Dignam and Queenan are interviewing Costigan, he asked Costigan if he knows what they do in that unit, and he says, "I think I have a good idea." And he's like, "Whoa. Let's say you have no idea and leave it at that, okay? No idea. Zip. None. If you have any idea what we do, we would not be good at what we do. Now would we? We would be cunts. Are you calling us cunts?" It's like Mark Wahlberg just goes fucking crazy.
yeah, like I said, man, he's batting them. Like, he's bringing it. I fucking love him.
And now, my line that I don't even know how I got started saying this, but I used to say it at work, and we'd all have a good laugh about it.
I get the biggest kick out of it.
When I tell you to dump the body in the marsh, you dump the body in the marsh.
You know, when I was watching that tonight, that scene came up, and I just kind of chuckled about it. This picture, I had your face saying that.
I love that line.
I'm going to say we're all on our way out. Act accordingly, because that seems to be like the line that seems to get referenced from this movie. It's not my favorite, but I'd say it's probably the line that's thought of the most with this. I'm personally like, I want to use maybe not, maybe go fuck yourself, just because, like, I think I'm going to start answering questions like that.
Just start answering work emails. Like, is my stuff on the way? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe go fuck yourself.
Yeah. Maybe I'll get a promotion. Who knows? Maybe not.
Maybe go fuck yourself. I'm actually good with using that line as the winner.
All right. We'll do that. Simply because you can use it in anything. It's got a lot of different uses.
It's true.
That's the winner right there. The Lou Brown, give him the Heater Award for the best role player.
Forget about the curveball, Ricky. Give him the heater.
I don't really think this is a contest, but just for the sake of the show, I'm going to give one nominee. Alec Baldwin, I kind of like him. Or like his character, Ellerby. But let's be real here. This is Wahlberg.
Yeah.
He's only in 4 scenes in the movie, but
I actually, just for argument's sake, put Alec Baldwin in there too.
yeah.
Just because I texted you, I said, "Is Mark Wahlberg in this movie too much?" But no, he's not, and he's giving him the heater. Give him the heater.
I think he's so good as this, like, it almost makes me want to rename this award the Sergeant Dignam Award for best performance by a role player.
Yeah.
We're not going to change it just yet, but yeah, like, I don't know, it's like he knows he's going up against Leo, Matt Damon, and Nicholson, so he's like trying to stand out any way he can. So it's like, how can I like shine in this movie? Like, oh, I know, I'm just gonna fucking dial it up to 11.
It worked.
Yeah, he actually got nominated for Best Supporting Actor for this. He was the only member of this cast that got an Oscar nomination too.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's surprising.
I mean, like, well, we went over earlier that, or did we go over, like, Leo didn't get nominated because, I guess apparently Warner Brothers was going to put a campaign to get him nominated for Best Supporting Actor too, which I thought was kind of weird because I considered him the lead.
Mm-hmm.
But he said he didn't want to take away from the other performances, so he said, like, they don't worry about it. So they put all their money into getting him a nomination for Blood Diamond.
Oh, I think we talked about this before the show.
Okay, I knew we talked about it. I'm just like, man, am I that tired to where like I can't even remember what I said 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, and you said that you liked him better in this movie than in Blood Diamond.
I like him much better in this than Blood Diamond. Blood Diamond's a decent movie, but if you were to ask me to choose, I think he's much better in this.
Well, I think his co-star in that movie is better than him anyway.
Demon Hansu? Yeah, he's really good in that.
I think he's the best actor in that movie anyway.
Yeah, I'd agree with that too. So we're in agreement. Wahlberg wins this one.
Yeah, it's not even a contest.
All
really.
right. I was actually, if you would, I was expecting you to say maybe not, maybe go fuck yourself.
Missed opportunity.
Yeah, we should like do a dry run on these going forward, like just so we can set up these jokes better. The Eric Stoltz Award for the performer you would recast. Do you have anybody you'd like to nominate for this?
I would. I didn't before this. I had nobody written down. But you know what? I would actually replace Nicholson with Mel Gibson. I think he could pull it off, and I think he's a racist asshole that would be perfect for that role.
Jack Nicholson's actually my nominee too. I think out of the four main leads, I think he's the weakest of the four. And I was totally okay keeping him in there until I researched this and I found out that Al Pacino was the first choice. And I kind of want to see Al Pacino now as Frank Costello.
See him try a Boston accent.
Oh, I think he could pull it off, but can you imagine like how like it's almost like him and Wahlberg would have like a contest to see who could fucking just be more coked out.
Yeah. More batshit crazy in this.
Yeah. But yeah, I'd recast Nicholson too. Like I think he's okay, but I don't know. Like
Well, it was like you said, he doesn't like he's from the streets of Boston, and in his opening monologue is about the only time that I hear him even attempt a Boston accent.
Yeah.
Well, except for the line that I used.
Right. I don't know, like that opening monologue scene too, just it's almost like hey, you like Nicholson's like, hey, you guys got me for like another like 50 minutes. You want me to do like a voiceover or something? I could do that for you.
By the way, that part at the beginning when he's talking to that guy's daughter made me super uncomfortable. That was very rapey.
It was. I think that's who he ends up marrying in the movie too. I think it's his wife.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't notice that.
I'm pretty sure because, yeah, I think he's supposed to be in his 40s in that.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, they say he's in his 70s now at the point of the movie. And then when, like, him and Leo are talking about, like, who's the rat,
mm-hmm.
and he basically brings it up, like, Leo tries to set it up, like, hey, you know, anybody in your crew might want to take a shot at you. Like, you're not young anymore. You're 70. And his wife's much younger than him, so it makes sense. And she's got red hair.
I totally missed that.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's his wife.
Good eye, Russ.
Yeah, see? I'm not all the way out of it yet. The unsolved mysteries of the movie. I have a couple.
Join me. Perhaps you may be able to help solve a mystery.
I really don't understand, and I guess he wrote it because he wanted to make Costello sound crazier, but what was the purpose of him bringing that dildo to the movie theater?
I don't know.
That like, I get the scene. It's like, okay, like it's a secluded private place that you can have a meeting like that if you don't want to be seen. But like, I just don't get the fucking dildo thing.
Well, it's kind of like the hand in the bag when they were taking the ring off of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what was the purpose of that too?
Well,
just to show that Mr. French murdered his wife.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I didn't get that part.
Well, I think I know Nicholson had some input into like how to sculpt his character better.
Mm-hmm.
So he was kind of like, I know the dildo was like supposed to be part of some bigger scene, but I guess they thought like, hey, Jack, that's a bit too much. Let's rein that in a little bit. So I guess he snuck that in there. Now, my biggest unsolved mystery of the movie is, would this movie be better with the cast that was in the movie, or if they replaced them with Pitt, Pacino, Gibson, De Niro, the RZA, and Ray Liotta?
I don't think it'd be better. Just because I think Damon, DiCaprio, and Wahlberg are so good in this. Not to say that, the others wouldn't be equally as good, but I feel like those three alone make this movie as good as it is.
Well, DiCaprio would still be in it.
So he wasn't being replaced by
No,
anybody?
he was always cast in it. But yeah, it would be like Pitt would be Sullivan, and then Ray Liotta would be Dignam, and then you'd get Mel Gibson as Ellerby, and then De Niro would be Queenan, and then you get the RZA and the Anthony Anderson part.
Yeah, I don't know. I still don't think it'd be better. What about you?
I think it would be.
Yeah.
I mean, like I think Pitt. I'm okay with Pitt not being in it. I think him and DiCaprio and Matt Damon work well together, and I also think that there's like a kind of a natural rivalry between the two of them because they've kind of came up at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
I think DiCaprio and Damon are kind of like the modern day Pacino and De Niro back in the 70s and the 80s, like like the preeminent actors of that generation.
Right.
They're not the best actors, but like they're the ones that like, not so much like Pacino and De Niro were like very like they got a lot of award nominations. Their movies were successful, but I think Damon and DiCaprio are kind of like that dynamic. But I'm okay with Damon staying on, but like man, just Pacino as Costello, like I'm so like I just want to see that movie. Just remake it just give it like another 6 or 7 years and remake it again. I hope we still have Al Pacino with us. Just get him.
It's hard to say.
Yeah, just like the Departed.
Departed Part 2.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I read they had a script ready for a sequel for this.
Oh, did they?
But they scrapped it because Scorsese wasn't interested.
Yeah, it doesn't really make sense to make a part 2. Now, the Infernal Affairs movies, I think they've made 3 of those.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I'm interested. Like, you killed off almost the whole entire fucking cast. Like, what do you do?
If it's like Mark Wahlberg's character, like roaming the streets like the Equalizer, I'd be okay with that.
Shout out to Denzel, by the way. Go vote on our poll.
Yeah.
For Fan Appreciation Month.
But yeah, like I could see him being like just some like vigilante, clean up the streets of Boston. Like he's got some guy on the ground, he's got his gun pointed, like you're gonna kill me, and he just goes maybe not, maybe fuck yourself, and it like shoots him in the head. Cocksucker. All right. So that takes us to the final.
Hold on. I got one.
Oh,
I got one unsolved
mystery.
mystery.
You got an unsolved mystery. Go for it.
I do. I know it's shocking because I usually don't have one of these.
Yeah, I was gonna say you usually don't contribute to this category. It's like I don't.
My question is, why was the guy that Sullivan accidentally stabbed walking through the back alley with his food? Who the fuck goes to the back door to get their food instead of like the front of the restaurant?
No, I think he was a delivery driver.
But it looked like he was, like he had a brown sack of like food.
Yeah, I think he was a delivery driver for the Chinese restaurant.
Oh, okay. I thought he was carrying like his dinner. Like, why the hell is he in the back alley?
You know what, Lucas? I will give you points for at least making an attempt. But that unsolved mystery, I think I solved it for you pretty quick.
Wow, I appreciate that.
I think watching this movie, like my detective skills are a little keener tonight?
I don't know. I watched it today too, and I didn't even pick up on that.
I'm super sleuthing. Nice catch, Lucas. Lucas, I don't know, apparently is drunk. He almost dropped his microphone.
It's just one of those days.
Yeah. Yeah, this whole episode is just like mispronounced shit. You're dropping stuff now. Who knows what's going to happen next? I'm waiting for a power outage.
It's coming. Well, I mean, you got the lights turned out on you a few minutes ago, so.
Yeah, it's like, oh, he's not doing anything. All right, the last category of the movie is the I'm the King of the World award for who wins this movie.
I'm the King of the World!
Who do you have winning this movie, Lucas?
I got a couple nominees. I have Matt Damon, and I have Leo DiCaprio.
Okay.
I mean, you could almost say Mark Wahlberg, too, but we gave him the Lou Brown, and he's not in the movie a whole bunch, so.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, this was like the turning point of the way that I viewed Leo DiCaprio as like a serious actor. Because, you know, I hadn't really watched a whole lot of his movies. Like, I fucking hate Romeo and Juliet. I think that movie's god-awful. And then Titanic, which you've never seen to this day.
I have not seen Titanic. I made a vow to two of my friends that we would never watch that movie. And I think I'm the only one that still has kept their word. I would bet money that one of my friends definitely broke that rule. My other friend, I can maybe see him still like towing the line, but
it's a good movie. But, you know, that's how I always viewed Leo DiCaprio.
It's kind of like the Tiger Beat Teen Heartthrob.
Yeah, and this one made me look at him more as like a serious actor.
My wife actually was telling me about how big of a crush she had on him during that time too. She had posters of him on her wall, and
yeah, I know a lot of people did.
Did you?
I can't talk about that.
Okay.
He was on the ceiling.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, so like you didn't really take him seriously, like after, because I think after Titanic he had done The Beach, he'd done The Gangs of New York.
I don't like The Gangs of New York.
It's good. It's uneven. Like Daniel Day-Lewis is fucking awesome in that movie, but the rest of it, I've got complaints about that movie.
Yeah.
Catch Me If You Can.
Nah, it's still just The Departed for me.
Really?
Yeah.
And he did The Aviator too, I think, before this one.
I didn't like that movie either. The head shake. You guys can't hear the head shake, but Russ is disapprovingly giving me a head shake.
The Aviator's great. It's a Scorsese movie too.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
All right. But I could see that though. I mean, like it's kind of like maybe not so much for me, but like crime movies are like my wheelhouse. Like they're probably like one of my favorite movie genres outside of like spy movies and heist movies.
Mm-hmm.
But I could see that like maybe like a lot of people would start to come around on him after he did like a Scorsese mob movie.
Yeah.
I have him winning it too. Well, actually, I'm real quick. I kind of want to hear about Damon. You winning the DiCaprio, but why Damon?
Just because like he was so quick-witted in this movie. Like he really got me with the scene where he's talking to the therapist in the elevator. And he's just, you know, he's so good at making you feel like he's really infiltrated the state police. Mm-hmm. Where he asked her, he's like, no, I don't need your card. I'm a detective. I'll find you. No, I'm just kidding. I need your card.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was hilarious. And just the way that I don't know. I just thought his acting was excellent in this movie.
Yeah,
I thought he was really good.
Yeah, he is really good. You kind of can see like I think he kind of comes off as like a slimy prick, but like
mm-hmm.
I could see like when he's in the elevator with Vera Farmiga, who we didn't really talk about. Just real quick touch on her. Like she did pretty good for like a role that could have just easily been like tossed to the side. I thought she was pretty good in this too.
Yeah, I agree.
Although she seems to like just give up doing the Boston accent after like 20 minutes in the movie. She's like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm done. I tried.
Most people did that.
I tried. I'm done.
Way too much.
Yeah. But no, like I could see that too. Like DiCaprio or Damon seems to kind of like flip on a switch.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I could see that. My nominee is DiCaprio. Like I thought this is probably one of my 3 or 4 favorite Leo performances.
This probably
this one, Calvin Candy and Django.
Oh man, he is so good in Django. That's the one he really should have won his Oscar for.
Well, actually, I would probably say my next one would be Jordan Belfort in Wolf of Wall Street.
I don't know. I thought he was better in Django.
No, well, hey, you know what? We're splitting hairs. Both of them are really awesome.
Yes, they were.
But this one here, like, he really, you start to see him, like, just mentally, like, just crumbling as the movie progresses, just because, like, he's so on edge. And I don't know, like, I really believe that he was somebody that was on the brink of just totally just losing his shit.
Yeah, you don't just see it, you like.
Yeah, you kind of feel like, man, like he conveys such panic in some instances, like you kind of feel it too.
Yeah, and you know me, I always talk about I want to believe it, and you know if you can make me feel it off the screen, then you've done your job.
Yeah, I did want to. I almost thought about giving this to Martin Scorsese too, just because I don't have an issue with the Academy Awards, like giving somebody an award for a movie that it may not be their best work, but it kind of rewards them for like a long career of just putting out top-notch material. And some ways I think this is kind of that, but also, like I said earlier, like I think the slate of Best Picture nominees was weak, so this actually kind of was one of the best movies of the year. I almost gave it to him just because, like, hey, he finally got recognized as being one of the best.
Yeah, well, and also, I mean, you got a cast this big, like egos that big, and you bring them all together. I mean, sometimes that turns into a disaster. Mm-hmm. And he turned it into something really, really good. You know, Best Picture. So.
Yeah, I think that if it wasn't him, it could have easily went off the rails. Like somebody that isn't quite as renowned, but the fact that it is Martin Scorsese. Like I said, he's my favorite director, so I'm going to be a little partial to him. But I think I'm going to give this to DiCaprio, too.
Yeah, it's kind of hard not to because, like, you know, like we just touched on, he makes you feel that character.
And also, my fourth DiCaprio favorite role is Rick Dalton in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Man, I keep forgetting about all the good movies he's in.
Yeah, he gets overshadowed by how great Brad Pitt is in that, but he's amazing in that, too.
I can't figure out the name. What's the Wilderness movie?
The Revenant?
The Revenant. He's really good in that too. Although I think Tom Hardy.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's better in that movie.
Yeah, I like The Revenant. It's not his. He shouldn't be best actor for that. I think it's the fact that he actually got beat up by a bear.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what? Like, you're gonna get beat up by a bear. This is the least we could do. Can we pay you too? Can we give you some money, a stipend of some kind?
Not only did he get beat up by a bear, but his half Native American son gets murdered in front of him because he can't move.
Right. So we're in agreement. DiCaprio wins this one? We
are in agreement, sir.
All right. Man, that was kind of an easy episode today. We kind of agreed on most of the stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it was easy too. They made it easy for us with how this movie was.
We didn't really go into too many Boston accents in this. I mean, we did a few.
I mean, what I don't know what more to say than the Sox and the Fenway Park and Cocksucker, and that's about it. Mosh.
We're all on our way out. Act accordingly.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's any good. Probably not.
I don't know. People from Boston are probably going to fucking shit all over us.
Yeah, we're not going to get a single listen.
You cocksucker. We don't sound like that.
You cocksucker. That's all it's going to say is just like, you cocksucker. And it's going to be spelled like how it sounds in the email. It's going to be like CAWK SOCKA.
Cocksucker.
Do you have anything you want to add to this before we wrap this up?
No. Just go vote on our fan poll that we got right now for Fan Appreciation Month.
Yeah, that is
on our socials.
That is coming up. We're going to let you guys program the episodes. We got Jaws, which won our July poll, and then we did Step Brothers, which won. So we have one right now for pick the Denzel Washington movie. Some good choices.
We did Step Brothers once before, didn't we? I was too stoned. I was laughing.
We'll save that story for the episode.
All right.
But as far as The Departed, it was really cool to revisit this again. Like, I hadn't seen it in quite a while. It still holds up really well. It's kind of it's one of those movies. It's kind of like the definition of what I want this show to be about. Just like movies that you probably seen 6, 7, 8 times, and just like when sometimes we'll just reference something like from the movie. It's kind of one of those movies. Just like, oh yeah, I know that scene, or I know that line.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Okay, I was like, did you fall asleep? I didn't see.
Well, we established that we've both been drinking, even though we haven't, and we're both slap happy and all that fun stuff.
Well, I tell you what, I'll make a deal with you, and I'll make a deal with our audience that if this episode sucks, we will do the Departed Part 2, and we'll just do it over again.
All
right. Well, that's what we'll call it, the Departed Part 2.
I don't think this episode sucks. I think we did really, really good.
All right, besides the flubs. So until next time, we'll catch you guys later. And that's going to wrap up this week's episode of the Couch Potato Podcast. Coming up next Monday, me and Lucas are going to sit down with Gage and Cole from the Knights of Degradation podcast. We're doing a special 2-part collaboration. Lucas and I are going to go over on their show and play a board game based off the movie The Crow. And then they're going to join us, and we're going to do the movie The Crow. So that ought to be really cool. So that's coming up next Monday. So until next Monday, we'll talk at you guys later. Bye, everybody.